Good evening, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Reverse Aging Call for May 28th, Friday, 2021, 9 p.m. Eastern. We have a guest tonight, and I'll bring him on in a little bit. Dr. Russ Newman, he is a friend of mine. He's endocrinologist, he's a doctor, lymphatic system, and many different technological applications that he has discovered through other alternative practicing doctors on healing the body. And if you want to talk to if you want to know about the blood, he's the guy that can tell you. You want to know about the lymphatic system in the body, he's the guy that can educate you. Endocrine, lymphatic, blood, and so he's going to be talking about, in addition to that, he has, I mentioned this to everybody a few weeks ago, that we were going to have a segment involving structured water. And Dr. Russ has been using structured water for, I think it's 12 years. I think it's 12 or more years. And he can tell you anything you want to know about structured water, and that's why he's on here, to educate people on it, for the fact on how phenomenal it is. I used a shower filter, because I just, our water on this planet is just, it's been so fouled for so long that, you figure out ways to, when you take a shower, you got to figure out that water is going into your body. It's being absorbed, a lot of it, and you don't care to have water that goes into the body. A warm shower is going to open up the pores, which means more absorption. So when it opens up the pores, you're going to have absorption of whatever water that you're taking a shower under, whether it's a city system or a well system, or any kind of system. Even if you have filters on the shower, I was using a shower filter for the last couple years, and all they are, most of the shower filters are carbon. They're a carbon filter, so they take out some of the impurities and smell of the water. But the barrier of those, they say it lasts 6 months, but I just don't believe that. And so when I put on a structured water filter on my shower, a huge difference in the water, how it felt. And then my shower head, which I'm sure a lot of you experience, it brings in, mineral deposits and everything from the water. Because most of our water is really hard. That's why a lot of people use the softeners. But the salt's not good for the body either. So when you use these, you notice that the shower head clears up. It has more pressure because the calcium mineral deposits are eliminated. You also know how it feels on the skin, the hair, your entire body. So I couldn't see any other filter that you would want to use other than a structured water filter. And the nice thing about them is they last for years. You could, most shower filters and other filters as well, you guys know this, you got to change them. You got to go spend more money and change them. So, these filters will last you 10 years or more. So, it's as far as getting bang for your buck, it's unreal. So we've got to do this as a civilization until we can clean up the water on the planet. We have the technology to do that. So I've talked with some water people that are absolutely so far ahead of the archaic water systems on this planet. They have developed applications that are absolutely phenomenal that will clean up all the water, all the radiation, everything. So And then with our technologies and interacting with them, we'll have the water cleaned up on the planet. And in the meantime, these are all interim applications to help us be as healthy as we can in these bodies, because we want as many people to stay in the body and be healthy until we have the celestial chamber. Then it's a grand slam for people physically. So anyway, he will be on, and you're there, aren't you, Russ?
Yeah, I sure am. You hear me all right?
Okay, I just want to make sure you're there, you know. I'll bring you on shortly, but
sounds great, Jared. Thanks.
Okay. So everybody, you know, we're talking about our bodies, and we're talking about ways that we can help our bodies heal. That's what every single application that any of you have tried, come across, or anything, that's really what they're doing. It's helping the body heal. Now, that means that somehow we got to figure out how to get the immune system up to snuff, so that the immune system is so strong that it fends off. Right now, the average immune system, right, can fend off trillions of viruses. Seriously, trillions on this planet. Now, the other ones, of course, they're mutating strains that happen along, and they happen to, you know, you catch a cold or a flu. But now, if your immune system was optimal, you would not get sick. You would not catch a cold. You would not come under a flu. You would not get sick at all. And in addition to that, if your immune system was peak performing, you would have no diseases. You wouldn't. You would not have any diseases in the body. But see, people have been accustomed and educated to the fact, it's just the way this planet has worked for so long, that they believe that, you know, sickness is pretty much normal in these bodies. And it isn't. These bodies were designed to not be sick. They were really designed to regenerate at an accelerated rate that we have. And I don't think anybody on this planet, maybe those that don't interact with the civilization, maybe some of them. But for the most part, I'm talking about without taking a pill or formula or anything, where you can literally increase the effectiveness of the immune system to the point where there's no way that you're going to have any degradation in the body. You keep the body young. You keep the cell structure young. You keep the immune system at peak performance at highly accelerated energy. And that I know this because we will do that with the celestial chamber. So we look at this, and here comes a product called iHERQles, right? And this product reverses the biological age of our bodies. And you know what's interesting about it is it cannot not. There's no way, unless you're a mechanical. It's the only way it won't reverse the biological aging of the body. If you're a mechanical, then it won't do anything. But I don't think that, you know, there may be one or two, but that's about it. But most of the people on this call are biological. So it doesn't matter if you have signs or I haven't experienced anything and I've been on it for 5 months. It is absolute crap. And you know what? You ought to be happy about that you aren't experiencing anything. Because it means that the body has embraced it so well that you haven't experienced anything that has out of the ordinary. You know, pains in the neck, pains in the head, pains in the shoulder, pains in the arm, pains in the leg, you know. What do you call it? Lethargy, tiredness, itchy skin, those types of things. You got to remember that your bodies, all of our bodies, look how long it's taken us to get our bodies to where they're at today. Long time. And you're looking at an application, a formulation that cannot not reverse your biological aging. No matter what you think or say about it, it cannot not. So what you're looking at is do you want You remember when you were 30. Think about that. Do you remember when you were 30 and how you felt? I think we can all kind of, without actually being 30 again, I think we can, we could kind of go there and say, yeah, I remember. I remember mostly when I was 30 years old, my energy and everything else. So wouldn't you like to feel that way again? If you're in your 70s and 80s and 90s, wouldn't you like to feel 30 again? I don't know of anybody that wouldn't say, oh, no, I don't want to feel good, happy at 30. I'd rather stay at 80, 90s, I'll be there. I don't think so. I think that the majority of us are going to want to get as young as we can logically and realistically to keep ourselves, and this is the key issue here. I think we all have experienced in our families and interactions with friends and associates and stuff through our lives where we've watched, witnessed what happens to the body, And, we know this with grandparents and some of with our parents. As time goes by, remember guys, after the age of 60, we've lost over 80% of our telomeres. After the age of 60. After the age of 70, we've lost 70% plus of our muscle mass. I've talked to some guys, a friend of mine, he's about 80, he's 80 years old. And he says, I lost my ass. He said, it's gone. He said, I never thought that'd happen. He said, I remember my dad, and my dad lost his ass too. And now I've lost my ass. There's nothing there. This is because the muscle mass on the body just disintegrates after you hit a certain age. And the telomeres start dying off. And the telomeres are the tissue, they're kind of a coating, a cap on our genes, right? And they keep our body young. That's what they do. Now, they affect the mitochondria and stem cells. So when the telomeres get young, we reverse the aging of them, everything else gets young. Understand that. It cannot not, Now, some people don't get it because they can be, you could be, say, 50 and have the blood of a 90-year-old and not know it, thinking you're healthy. You could be, 60, 70, have the blood of a 90-year-old. Now, if that's the case, it takes longer to reverse the biological age because you got to go from 90 to 70, right? And then 70 to 30, So it takes longer. And this stuff, you just literally, we've had such a demand for it in Europe alone that we've had to, my assistants had to restructure things in order to continue to get it out. Not that we're running out. It's just that it's in such high demand. We have people in Europe and other parts of the world buying like 72 bottles at a time, 90 bottles at a time. That's several $1,000s. And, we've got people in China buying, 60, 70, 80 bottles, in Japan. And, it's just, the people know what they've got. People on planet Earth, once they get a hold of this stuff, they know what they've got a hold of. So you look at iHERQles, and it's atomized quite a lot. And the absorption factor on the inside of your cheeks, the tongue, and the membrane under the tongue, doesn't matter. You spray it in the mouth. You put it in close enough so it doesn't spill out, doesn't spray out. And you spray it in the mouth. All of that vaporization, that atomization, it hits the inside lining of the thin membrane of the cheeks, right? The tongue, and absorbs. Instantaneously starts going into the bloodstream. That's why I say to people, just when you spray it, you spray it on the tongue. Some people spray it under the tongue, but they have difficulty because it kind of hangs there. That's why I say just spray it on the tongue. put the sprayer in there far enough so it doesn't spray out, and spray it in there. Just spray it in the mouth. It'll be absorbed right into the bloodstream. And there are so many people on this planet that are deficient in so many things, and they don't even know it. And the truth is that everything, it's all about the blood. And we ignore that, see. The allopathic system identifies, they don't even really talk much about the blood, really. They talk about the organs, we're going to probably have to do this procedure, cut this out, It's like my brother, right? They finally got to him, and of course he's in a different existence. So they finally get to him, and they tell him, you got an enlarged prostate. So what we're going to do is take half of it out, and you'll be fine, right? Okay. And of course he believed them. And instead of doing an alternative application to shrink his prostate, because the only reason the prostate swells is because of inflammation. And then you find the source of the inflammation. What's causing this? What's causing that? What's causing the prostate in men swell? They have no clue. Do you know that? Allopathic has no clue. Well, we don't know why it does that, but we have a solution to it. So we're going to take half of it out, and then we're going to do the procedure, the seminal vesicle, and do a stitch and put that, so on and so forth. Guess what? The other half is swollen, and he's got issues with urination. Okay? So they lie. They lie. Because they don't want to take the time to figure out exactly what's causing it. They treat the symptom. They don't hit the cause. They don't cure the cause. They treat the symptom. That's it. They don't go to the root ever. They're always treating the symptoms, and they never go to the root and fix it. So that's the whole part of the thing is, guys, we were never meant to have our bodies cut open and things taken out. I've said this before. If that's the case, you'd have a zipper, right? And, doctors say, okay, Al, let's take this organ out. All right, Doc, there, I got my zipper. I open the zipper, and then, okay, go in there and take it. And it'd be different if, you had a table full of new organs, and you're sitting there and you go, all right, okay, we're going to plug a new one in. All right, we'll take that old one out. There it is. Put it in. Here's a new one. Put it in. Well, it doesn't work that way, as we all know about. But the point is that we can heal the body, literally, of all issues, if we know how. And if we don't know how, then it gets bad. And what we're out to do is, between now and the celestial chamber, is to have people have a good quality of life until the celestial chamber, and then it's a whole different ballgame. But, to improve their quality of life, when these bodies get old, the quality of life degenerates. It shrinks. Independence, eyesight, mobility, bones, muscles. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and we rot away. The body rots away. And so, but iHERQles will stop that rotting away. It's what it'll do. And, you imagine being in your 90s and being able to go out and play tennis. Because I know some people in their 90s that have been on biological reverse aging for a long time. They're playing tennis 3 times a week. I mean, it's unreal. There's others jogging and everything, and you don't notice it because you look at them, you go, oh, okay, they're probably in their 50s. Not a big deal, right? But doesn't it make sense that we access things that can stop the degrading of our biological systems? Doesn't it make sense? I mean, stuff that works. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that I tried. I was a guinea pig with these different companies, and they were just garbage. They touted this and touted that, and most of them were synthetic. And, I said, well, what'd you think? Well, it's crap. Doesn't work. Not from what you have depicted how it should work. Guaranteed, so on and so forth. But I'll tell you, the iHERQles, it really is the only one of its kind on the planet on how it's formulated and what it contains. But also what it contains are very unique strains of those plants. They're not run-of-the-mill. And when you take this stuff, Katie barred the door, because you're going to experience all kinds of things. You might experience it. You've heard it, people experiencing fat lips, white, blue lip when they woke up, swollen. Other people experience, hip pain, shoulder pain, head pain, hand joint pain, fatigue. And you guess what? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? The microcirculation is opening up into parts of the body that haven't had it for quite a long time. That's why. That's why you're getting the pain. The microcirculation starts going to places where it hasn't gone for quite some time. It's not used to it. So the body's reactiveness is to the pain. It's not excruciating. And then if you do have the pain, you just back off. And everybody that's backed off, settled down. And then they work back up to full dose, and they're fine. But these things, and then others, they have nothing. They're just taking it and going right along, happy-go-lucky. I think we as a species believe that we're supposed to see everything. I'm going to have just a field day when people start going to reatomization in the celestial chamber, because they won't be able to complain about a thing. Right? Because we'll counsel them, we'll go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, exactly how they're going to look, everything. And then we'll make sure, end the session to find out, okay, so are you good? Are you good with everything? All right, so we'll take you into the celestial chamber room. You'll be reatomized 3 minutes later, you'll be a young guy or a young gal. And if you don't want to age, you won't from that point forward. So it's going to be interesting. That's a whole other adventure. When people land that chamber and actually go through the reatomization process, it's going to be quite interesting. But in the meantime, we have people that need help. They need as much help as we can get for them, because they have so many issues. It's just unreal. These bodies are amazing creations, because to be able to withstand the stuff that people, multiple diseases, multiple issues with bone structure, muscle structure, brain structure, strength, agility. Everything's just like they're just existing in almost a non-functional body. But see, we know for a fact that we can literally eliminate all the issues in the body. It's a no-brainer. It really is. It's not. It isn't even an issue. If you take iHERQles and you start learning about different applications and nutrition, right? Our food supply on this planet, our food production, should try to get the nutrients that we used to get, even 100 years ago. We don't get anymore because the soils are tired, and so it's harder to have a dense nutrition with plants and fruits and vegetables. It's depleted. See, if the soil's depleted, the plant's not going to get the right nutritions, and the fruit or vegetable's not going to have as much dense nutrition anywhere near that it did a long time ago, because of the soils are near death. So when you have, you're looking for nutrition as well. Well, we're on the verge of we're on the verge of that dense nutrition. Do you imagine you're taking iHERQles? You're taking this dense nutrition. You're revitalizing the body. You're drinking structured water. Your blood element is going to shift. The health of the body is going to get tremendously better. Your strength factors, everything. Because I'll tell you what, when you heal the body from head to toe, inside and out, you know what will happen? You'll have good eyesight. You'll have good lung power. You'll have good stamina, good recovery, flexibility. strength, all of it. Your organs will regenerate. There isn't an organ in our bodies, no matter what its condition, that cannot be regenerated. It's common knowledge in some arenas. You know, the allopathic committee, oh yeah, you're shot, we got to rip that out. And I'm telling you, anybody, and Dr. Russell will probably share this with people, is that you have healthy blood, you got a healthy, happy body. You don't have healthy blood, you don't have a healthy, happy body. Even though you think you're as healthier than a horse, as soon as they get a hold of the blood and they do an extensive blood examination, you'll go, wow, you're kidding me. My markers are that much off. You know? They can also check you for vitamin D and other nutrients in your body that's in your blood. You see how deficient you are in those areas. Okay, and I'm going to share with everybody. Okay, because we have with one of our guys, he's taken upon himself to do this with the company New XTRAX. We have a lab, okay, and everybody contacts him, and I'll get you the information here. Okay, this is for blood work, or people that want to have blood work. Okay. This lab is a phenomenal lab. As a matter of fact, the actual formulator of iHERQles uses this lab. The cost is $350. And what we need for you, and you can send this to us, to Lifelight 369 at protonmail.com. And this is what we need from people. We need date of birth, email, phone, address, and your CC experience, and your CVV billing zip. And then we'll send that to Jeff Ackerman. And he'll send it to agetech91@gmail.com, because we have contact with one of the lab people in the lab, okay? One of the managers in the lab. And that's who will get your blood work request. And this company is called Kinetic Bodyworks. And they'll process the payments, and LabCorp does the blood draw, and results will be emailed to you directly. Okay? So this is what we need from people, and send it to my assistant, and then we'll refer it to Jeff, and then Jeff will take it and coordinate with people so that they can get the blood work. So we finally zeroed in, fairly affordable compared to what they're charging out there. Some are charging $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000. But if you want to get the blood work and you want authentic, really good service, that now we have it right there. And so he handles that. And I wanted to get that out there to everybody so that you have that, and you know that if you do want the blood work, then you can have it done. And we have it all set up. And they're a good group and a good operation. Now, like I said, I'm going to be introducing some things, but I'm not ready to introduce them yet. So, and you guys know how I work. I use this stuff, and I'll find out how it, what its effectiveness is. And then I'll open it up to everybody. And this particular stuff I'm using is the inventor, the discoverer of this, has to hide out. Isn't that ridiculous? There's so many talented people on this planet that have discovered some really phenomenal healing applications for the civilization. And they got to hide out. They had the world's most effective, I guess you'd call it nutritional application on the planet, and then they The goons came in, shut them down, took over the company and trashed it. We are not going to have that forever. That is going to be taken. That is going to finally, once and for all, going to be eliminated. Even though they don't believe it'll be eliminated, that they'll be able to go on with their debauchery for another 10 million years, but they're not going to. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to have Dr. Russ come on and talk with everybody, and then we'll have a little Q&A. So we'll have him come on.